are going to learn about the history of trains, I guess. My dad's job is that he drives trains, and I actually had him on my gaming channel where he taught me how to drive a train, so go check that out. And let's see if maybe I can learn some new knowledge.
The year is...
Oh!
Definitely not 2024.
Oh.
Where? I don't know. Anywhere, really. People and goods are getting around using horses, ships, and their feet, but they're slow.
Horses were kind of OP, right? Like back in the day, they must have been kind of expensive. And you have to pay to feed them. But is feeding a horse cheaper than paying for gas? I don't know. But you do get a companion. Well, I mean, maybe the guy who did the ear with his car thinks like he got a companion out of that, but I mean.
Very slow. The Greeks carved out a grooved trackway to transport boats on land with carts. It's almost like a railroad track, said someone from the future. A guy called the hero of Alexandria then discovered steam power.
Oh, that was huge!
By heating up water, he generated steam to flow through pipes and make a ball spin. It was revolutionary, but some merely saw it as a toy with no practical purpose.
Oh, it was like the ye old fidget spinner?
Much later, the Germans realized that using timber rails could speed up the movement of wheelbarrows and mine carts over muddy terrain in the mines.
They had redstone? I guess that's what that does.
Well, that sucks. Sick of floods in your mine? Try out Geronimo's steam-powered water pump, keeping your mines dry since 1606. Then Thomas Avery did the same thing, except more British. But the world was still too slow. I want to get from here to there and faster. But how?
How would I get somewhere really fast but not use a horse? Maybe I could take a Twitch chatter, jump on their back, and hold like Nike or Nike. How do you say it? That game with the hot weapons girls. And I'm like, mush, mush.
Industrial Revolution.
What's that?
A revolution? Oh, it's the Industrial Revolution from Great Britain, and it's probably about to change the world. Inventors started thinking, well, those steam pumps were pretty cool, but what if I could make things move with steam? Using pipes, pistons, and valve gear, wheels could be turned by...
Wait, that's where steam comes from? Valve gear? Oh my god, I just learned a lot. That was like a name drop. Holy crap, it's like when you see a meme in an anime that you never understood where it came from.
Way of steam pressure created by boiling water in a boiler with wood or coal in a firebox. Experimental self-propelled steam vehicles started popping up here and there.
Cool.
Now let's meet Richard Trevithick. He created the Puffing Devil road locomotive.
Can I say something that's kind of rude?
There. Now let's meet Richard...
Okay, maybe not. Okay, it's not because I saw this image. But could you lie back in the day? Like, if I had a picture of me that I thought didn't look very good, but, like, it was painted by somebody, could I be like, could you make me have, like, way bigger boobs? Yeah, he's, like, pointing at nothing. Wait, what is he pointing at? Maybe he's pointing at, like, I don't know. I feel like old paintings kind of have a meaning, right? Like, he's pointing towards advancement. Like, he's going towards the future.
Richard Trevithick. He created the Puffing Devil road locomotive. Does it ride on rails? No, but it was the first to use high-pressure steam. After a successful run, Trevithick and his friends went to the pub and then the engine exploded. After that kerfuffle, his Penny Darren locomotive made the first ever steam-powered railway journey on tracks in 1804.
Whoa, that's tight.
It broke the iron rails it rode on, but this was still a big step forward, leading to the Salamanca becoming the first steam locomotive to work for more than 5 seconds. George Stephenson and his son Robert said,
Now watch this drive.
I quote this all the time. This shit is actually so quotable. Now, watch us drive.
And opened the Stockton and Darlington Railway, becoming the first public passenger and freight hauling railway to use steam locomotives.
Dang, look, they got the horsies next to it. This is like a 1v1v1v1v1v1.
Uh-oh, the Liverpool and Manchester Railway is about to open, but what are they going to use as power? They decided to have a competition to see which locomotive had the best speed and power. Get ready, set, go!
The horse exploded? Oh my god!
They all broke except the rocket, as it reached a neck-breaking speed of 30 miles an hour.
Damn!
So the Stephensons were selected to build locomotives for the L&M, who went on to pioneer double-track main lines, signals, timetables, and carrying mail by rail.
Dude. Okay, what is going on in that first car, by the way? His head is back in pleasure. But what I was gonna say is, like, that's a lot of responsibility for one, like, I guess, group of people to do at first. Like, you're setting up the world for trains. You have to do the signals and the rules and the mail. Like, I don't even like dealing with the mail now.
Meanwhile, in Hoboken, New Jersey,
What?
John Stevens built the first American...
Wait. What cartoon character lives in Hoboken? Why'd I say it like... I got Duncan. Maybe I was thinking about Duncan. No, there's a cartoon character who lives in Hoboken. It's not like the Family Guy. No. Somebody lives here. Chat, who lives here? Cartoon character living in Hoboken. SpongeBob? I don't know why it came up with SpongeBob. I don't think that's right. Okay, I give up. It's not SpongeBob.
American steam locomotive and railroad to show Americans how cool trains were.
Yeah!
It was a half-mile loop in his backyard.
Oh.
Yup, that's a stone. Specifically the first stone of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, the first
Cool.
common carrier railroad in the United States. There goes the Stour Bridge Lion. It broke the tracks.
What?
Hey, it's the Tom Thumb. Broke after racing a horse.
He got mogged by an Uma.
Okay, how about the best friend of Charleston?
The Chew? Oh, Choo.
Yeah, there's still some kinks to work out. Robert Davidson built the first electric locomotive, but it kinda sucks and was
Aw.
destroyed by steam locomotive crews.
Oh.
Nations across the world began having their baby's first railway moment, especially in Great Britain, but they couldn't
Really?
figure out which track gauge to use.
Do you guys remember that episode of, I think it's like Thomas the Tank Engine, where they like trap some tank engine behind a wall forever, and they put like the last brick in?
People are finally seeing the value in railways moving people and freight at faster speeds and higher quantities than a horse could, but canal owners didn't. You're taking our
Oh.
jobs! May the devil curse your wretched machine!
Our germs. Oh.
Okay. Then the two realized they could work together.
Oh.
As more trains popped into the world,
Wait, that was like Toxic Yowie. They hated each other and then they decided that they wanted to be together.
that meant more boiler explosions, derailments, and
Whoa!
pandemonium amongst the general public. Critics thought railways would cause farm animals to go insane, women would melt, traveling at the high speed of 30 miles per hour would surely mean death.
Wait, they thought women were just gonna have everything peeled off of their skin as soon as they got in a train? That's crazy. Oh, I guess maybe is this like a physics moment? Let's say this is a train car. This is gonna look like stupid bait, but I swear to God, I just wanna know. Here's the train. And then here's you guys, this is driving it. Okay, so if BerryCrepe were to jump up in the air while the train is going to the right and I jump up, I still go to the right with the train while it's driving and I don't fall off. Because I'm already going that fast. Okay, sorry, you guys don't have a conductor's hat. I'm sorry. Yes. An object in motion stays in motion. Write that down.
And the power of trains could be challenging God himself.
Woo!
Well, God didn't have much to say on the matter, so people kept building trains.
Oh.
Trains got drafted into the military when Prussia started using them to move troops.
Dude, I thought this guy was so hot in Italia.
Are you too lazy to build a bridge?
Yes.
Use a train ferry instead and let the steamship do all the work.
Oh.
Britain puts trains in India to surely benefit the Indian people. The Australian colonies start building railways, but just like Big Brother Britain, can't figure out which gauge to use. Their lead engineer said, let's use the Irish gauge. Then he
Okay.
left after his paycheck got cut.
He's 5'3".
And then the second guy said, let's use standard gauge. Brother Britain
Oh!
paycheck got cut, and then the second guy said, "What?"
4 foot 8.5 inches. Wait, that's not how tall they are? That's the size of the gauge? I was like, are we choosing who's more trustworthy on who's taller? Because like this last one said 5'3". I was like, yeah, it seems pretty trustworthy. Like I'm 5'3". Like that's normal.
Irish gauge. Then he left after his paycheck got cut, and then the second guy said, "Let's use standard gauge." Brother Britain sent a letter saying, "Hey, you guys should probably just use one track gauge." But the message took forever to arrive, and later the other colonies started using Cape gauge. Surely this won't cause future problems. London is getting so crowded they built an underground railway and basically popularized the subway and rapid transit to move a lot of people really fast.
Whoa!
Uh-oh. The Americans are killing each other and using rail-mounted cannons. Union troops...
How often do other countries hear that? The Americans are killing each other again. But this time they have cannons.
also stole a Confederate locomotive, said nana nana boo boo, and the Confederates chased them on foot and then in a locomotive. After the North and South reunite, they manifest their destiny by killing the natives, taking their land, and placing down some trains. The tribes fought back by derailing the Iron Horse, except the Pawnee, who welcomed the railroad. At Promontory Summit, Utah, the first American transcontinental railroad was completed, and they took a gangster picture together.
Oh, Union Pacific! I do know the breeds of railroad, in case you were wondering. I didn't know they were that old, though. That's crazy.
Trains suck at climbing hills, but not anymore with the rack railway.
Whoa!
Hey,
give me on
pull
that.
my finger.
Okay.
Just kidding, that's an air brake lever made by George Westinghouse to stop brakemen from dying on top of a moving train while screwing on handbrakes.
How many people died on the Polar Express? Like, that shit seemed archaic. And I don't know if Santa takes sacrifices in order to, fuel his power.
Over in China, a British merchant built a demonstration railway, but the Qing government said, "Dude, are you insane? This is gonna scare everyone," and made him dismantle the line for promoting bad vibes.
What?
The Japanese decided they wanted to learn how to build railroads and hired foreigners to help, but then said get the hell out once they were done.
Japan moment.
Wanna go up the big hills of San Francisco? Take the new cable car. Cable in the road, passenger in the car. Back in China, the British and Americans started building a road, and by road I mean railroad, and when the government found out the Westerners lied, they said, "Dude, stop. Stop it. Can you please stop building the..." And the British completed their railway and made bank off it, until China had it dismantled a year later. Werner von Siemens said, "Hey, what's up? I'm gonna build an electric locomotive." And he did.
Wow.
It was a wood block on wheels with a motor, but it worked.
I mean,
and people were amazed at the sight of a smokeless locomotive.
Oh, cute! This is like the one that drives you around the mall. I've always wanted to ride one of those, but I think I'm too much of an adult.
Hey! Don't touch the track! Do you want to get electrocuted? Because
I always thought about that, dude! I was in Japan for the last month. That's why my stream quality was really bad for a little bit. But everybody's gonna say it still is, but you know what I mean? And I would jump over the rails just because I was scared that I was gonna get zapped. That doesn't happen anymore? Like, they patched that? It does? Ohio gozaimasu, Berry-san. Some do. Okay, I just avoid it. Like, I avoid cracks so I don't break my mama's back, and I also avoid train stuff because I don't want to get zapped.
Berlin just opened the first electric tramway. It created an electric current from the steel rails through the wheels and into the motor. No more stinky horse required.
Oh, that is nice. I guess trains don't poop. But what if, like, there was a passenger on the train who really had to poop? Then maybe they would, like, shove their butt out the window. Like, this is, like, back in the day. Probably just, like, just start shitting.
Would you like to go to Paris to Constantinople in style? Hop on the Orient Express, hosting sleeping cars and exquisite dining options.
Whoa! Read this menu! Listen up! Oysters, delicious. Soup with Italian pasta. Turbot with green sauce. What, is that the snail? Chicken a la chasseur. I can't read. Filet of beef with chateau potatoes. Chaudfroid of game animals. Lechuga. Chocolate pudding and a buffet of desserts. You know what this looks like? Mario Party 8.
The US and Canada got fed up with trains running into each other and got federal time zones instated to simplify timetables.
Wait, that's why we have time zones? This is why I was confused as a child and didn't know what CT was and when my show was gonna come on. Is it at 7 or 8? I don't know. I'm a child. I have no idea.
Europe is hungry for a piece of African pie, and by piece I mean the whole continent,
Oh.
and put a bunch of trains there to extract natural resources while quelling the natives. Canada just finished their first long-ass transcontinental railway,
Holy
and
shit.
America said, "Damn it, I built a 5th one?" Well, a train just crashed through a station in Paris,
What?
and the Americans slammed 2 locomotives into each other head-on, cause why not, and
What? Why did they beam clash? Does anybody want to explain that?
and the
For fun?
Americans slammed 2 locomotives into each other head-on, cause why not, and accidentally killed 2 people. Oops.
Oh! This was for fun. You can let me know in the YouTube comment section because I would like to know more. But this is, yeah, this is where they just wanted to run 2 trains into each other for fun, and then 2 people were too close, and then they just died in. What the hell?
But hey, electric locomotives are finally making a name for themselves.
Yeah! Intermission. Oh, let's relax! Hi, Mari!
Now it's the 20th century and locomotives are getting bigger, better, faster, and stronger. Bigger boilers and fireboxes meant more power, and bigger wheels provided faster speeds.
Whoa, see, this is all, I think I talked about this when we watched the racing videos too. This is like the fun part of innovation. Like you kind of got the safety stuff down. Now you're just kind of like min-maxing your build to get like the most power. And as an engineer, that seems pretty fun.
Over in Germany, Eugen Langen looked at a railroad track and said, "Pff, 2 rails are overrated. And you know what? We're going airborne."
What?
And created the Wuppertal Suspension Railway, an early monorail.
Cool!
Okay, what the hell is this? The Ford Motor Company just dropped the Model T automobile. It's probably just a passing fad. I mean, come on. Do you really think this thing is gonna compete with trains? Have you seen how fast they go now?
But America, why do I want to be on a train with a bunch of people when I can drive my own damn car? Fuck.
The Sultan of the Ottoman Empire ordered the construction of a
And I can't drive a train drunk. That's reserved for old Bessie.
railway to link Damascus with the holy Muslim city of Mecca, thus making the Hajj pilgrimage more accessible.
The cube! I never knew what this was until like a couple years ago. I always just thought it was a cube, and I did not know why there were so many people looking at it. I learned.
It was also to assert control over the empire.
They only got as far as Medina due to tribal resistance. Hey, Germany and Switzerland. Yeah? What's that? Oh, it's a diesel locomotive.
Whoa.
A diesel? No, a diesel. That
These
Rudolph
nuts.
Diesel guy invented the engine, but he disappeared on a ship.
Wait! His name is Rudolph Diesel? Is that also where diesel fuel is from? Dude, I didn't know these were real people. Like, I don't know, Jack Daniels. Where's John Train? Yeah. Where's Mr. Petrol?
Oh. Anyway, apparently the whole world decided to go to war, and whoa, that's a big gun. And here's a tiny
Wow.
train. Trench railways were built to transport troops and supply food and ammunition to soldiers locked in stalemate-ridden trench battles.
Oh.
Badass-looking armored trains with guns also made an appearance here.
Do you think there's like ghosts who fought in these battles who watch me complain about not wanting to take a shower? And they were in the trenches?
While fighting on the Eastern Front, Russia finally finished the Trans-Siberian Railway, linking the isolated Siberia with the rest of the country, and America nationalized their railroads and started pumping out standard designs left and right to support the war effort. Alright, the war's over. Hopefully that won't happen again. American locomotives are getting big.
Yeah. Damn! You and the guy she told you not to worry about, he's huge!
Thanks to larger fireboxes and superheaters. Also, they denationalized. Here's your railroads back. Thanks again, pal.
Do people still do this? I don't even know the last time I've seen a newspaper. Are there still, like, newspapers with political comics? Sometimes I would read, like, the one with the dog. Yes? I don't know the last time I bought a newspaper.
What the fuck? Britain just grouped 120 railways into 4, and the economy just crashed.
Oh.
The Great Depression hits railroads hard, and people start hopping freight trains to find work in new towns. People are also hopping into automobiles more often as road networks improved and expanded, spelling the eventual demise of many interurbans and tramways.
Is there, like, no lines on the road? Was this just, like, free balling? Like, hey, get out of my way!
Meanwhile, Soviet engineers copied America's homework and made something bigger and also worse in every way.
Derailed frequently, broke tracks and switches, length made it difficult to turn, couldn't fit into a roundhouse, ripped couplers due to power, full steam pressure failed to build up due to huge boiler. You know what? Fucking send it. Don't play test this. Just let it go.
Whoa. What was that? It was Flying Scotsman,
Final
the
toy
first
bank.
steam locomotive
Or
to
what
reach
is it?
100
Final
miles
coin
per
bank.
hour. These two might say otherwise, though.
Wait, 100?
The first steam locomotive to reach 100 miles per hour.
That's kind of like a huge achievement, right? Like the big 100. That's like whenever people can bring a speed run down to like different minutes. That's pretty cool.
These two might say otherwise, though.
Oh.
While everyone is still depressed,
$100. What
100
did that
miles
say?
per hour. These two might say otherwise, though. While
$100 will buy this car. Must have cash. Lost all on the stock market. Damn! But look at that beautiful handwriting.
everyone is still depressed, designers fell in love with Art Deco and streamlined a bunch of trains to make them look more modern and
Oh, is Art Deco like whenever they have like the Fallout style kitchen with like the really shiny fridge? You know what I'm talking about?
aerodynamic. Jesus, these trains are going so fast now.
I like trains.
The London and Northeastern's Mallard set a speed record for steam at 126 miles per hour, but it broke itself in the process.
Oh!
Still pretty cool though.
They didn't
Back in
overclock
the
it?
US, steam locomotives are going strong and it...
What?
Knock knock. It's the diesel locomotive.
Oh shit, he's back!
Many American railroads decided steam was icky and expensive, so
Look at that smog! I feel like I'm behind a truck on the highway in Texas. That was a lot of crap in the air.
diesel started taking over. But not before they built some of the largest steam locomotives ever.
Whoa.
Oh, great. 3 guys suddenly decided they wanted to take over the world, and now there's a World War II. Railways
Again?
play a major role in transporting troops and supplies and prove to be a critical target for bomber planes.
Oh yeah, you could just like basically yoink everything on the train if you just exploded. It's basically like a giant like rob me, rob me, rob me. So wait, being like a train driver back then, I guess like an engineer, was super like scary. Like anybody could just like hit your train and just kill you. Oh my god. Yeah, train robbers.
Armored trains and huge railway guns are deployed into service while the Nazis use trains for inhumane purposes. The invading Japanese Empire starts construction of the Burma Railway, and by that I mean they forced abducted civilians and Allied prisoners of war to build a line to supply Japanese forces. Britain uses its trains to evacuate women and children from bomb-targeted cities to rural housing and camps, while Londoners take shelter in subway stations during the Blitz.
Oh my god, that's really scary. Can we talk about whenever trains were like, I don't know, delivering $100 million to my house right now? And your house, check under your chair?
Around the war's end, a Reverend Wilbur Awdry imagined sentient trains with faces and publishes his first of many children's
it's
books.
Thomas!
Remember him later. British railways became British Railways, but the Tally-Flynn Railway wasn't included because they kind of forgot about it.
The line was so run down that stations were marked as disused on maps and officials already didn't see much profitability left in the struggling railway.
It then barely survived closure and became the first preserved heritage railway in the world, and
Whoa.
kickstarted a movement of people saying, hey, maybe we should preserve this stuff.
Yeah, and I kind of like, I don't know, even this one, it looks so pretty, the way the smoke was like... Pop, 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 pop.
Meanwhile, Argentina's British and French-owned railways are nationalized and they throw a party. And then Germany is divided into East and West, and people start using the Berlin subway to escape from the communist and less prosperous East. The previously nationalized railway network is also divided.
Oh.
In Canada, Robert Swanson was busy making diesel air horns sound less like this,
Fart!
and more like this.
Oh, I know that one! That one's pretty loud.
In other words, he made locomotive horns more musical.
Oh,
This
is
truck
that...
train-
I guess I just think of my dad at work, because sometimes I would go down there with him. So I don't even think musical, I just think, oh my god.
Color is pretty cool, but I wish it could ride on railroad tracks.
Oh shit! BNSF!
Nice.
I just made that up.
Oh, hey America, how's it going? Oh, we're doing great. And this here's the love of my life. That's
What?
cool, but what happened to the train? The what? Passenger trains were starting to fall out of style as highways and airlines took over the public's
I don't think I've ever been on a passenger train in the US. Not even once. The first time I ever went on a train was in Japan. Has anybody in chat who lives in the US been on a passenger train? I haven't. I literally haven't. Yes, me. I want to go on one. No, yes. It's kind of split. No. I have once. Never. I used it to go to work. Going to the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I think a subway would count. They're nice. I feel like if you want to sell the train to like Americans now, it kind of has to be bougie. Like, give me a foot massage.
fascination, leaving inner urbans nearly extinct. Ouch! Dr. Richard Beeching just took an axe to Britain's railways. Africa,
67,000 jobs lost.
tired of being colonized, continues declaring independence, thus taking control of their railways, and then Mauritania builds a railway in the middle of nowhere to get some iron.
Oh! I was just reading the fun fact. I did not mean 6'7". I'm sorry.
On August 20th, 1963, the 1 millionth carload of lettuce departed from the Salinas
my
Watsonville shipping
lettuce!
district in California.
Let us go! Yes!
A period of modernization hits the world's railways with dieselization, electrification, and other new rolling stock.
And
And then Japan one-ups
Canada.
everyone and builds the first high-speed exclusive rail line.
oh, and they are sexy. It is so nice sitting on a high-speed train, eating your Eki-Ben, drinking some alcohol, kissing your hot girlfriend. It's awesome.
Wow, that's really fast, said everyone, kinda envious. We gotta make our own super cool fast train. British Rail sends over 200 retired steam locomotives to Berry scrapyard. But most of them are saved by rail fans for use or display at heritage railways.
Cool.
Let's check in on the United States. Oh, what the hell? And you got another one in the back?
Damn, the two-time!
Two American railroads that wanted each other dead just merged, creating one of the largest networks, and uh-oh, they went big-time bankrupt, and now
It's gotta be expensive to buy another train line, right? I think one of them was merging. I thought it was like BNSF or something. I can't remember. That's gotta be like playing Monopoly. I don't know. There's probably huge regulations, a lot of crap that you have to deal with paperwork-wise, working on what railways you're allowed to ride on, maybe people's jobs. It's a lot.
their trains derail every 3 feet.
Penn Central appeals to the government for help, but it doesn't come in time.
Oh.
Penn Central basically had no money for the basic upkeep of their railroad. They also ruined the Bangor and Aroo Sticks potato shipping service. Insulated boxcars with heaters ran out of fuel while waiting to be interchanged by Penn Central, thus causing the potatoes to freeze in the cold winter weather and spoil.
Oh, I think about that too. Like, there's gotta be a lot of things that happen with products if you're not fast enough. And some train stuff is really dangerous. Like, I remember that when my dad was doing, like, his training, I think they show, like, a video of, this is what happens if you derail with chlorine gas. Everybody died.
And we're stuck in here.
Barnacles!
Several potato farms went out of business, and those that survived never returned to the railroad again, instead going with trucks. Good job, Penn Central. Nationwide passenger services were on life support, infrastructure was crumbling, and the public was fed up. This sucks. The government replied, okay, fine, you want your stupid little passenger trains? Here, take this, you frickin' nerd. And they create the nationalized passenger railroad Amtrak to fail. But then
It's nationalized? I didn't know that.
it doesn't and saves passenger trains. Oh, come on, I thought we were done with the explosion.
Just after 8 yesterday morning,
I was just talking about
somehow a fire
explosions!
started in the huge Southern Pacific switchyard just south of Roseville.
Oh,
that's not good.
wow.
Flying Scotsman has the worst vacation ever after traveling to America and almost getting scrapped. The curtain finally falls on the majority of mainline and industrial steam locomotive
Trains are
operations
so cool.
as they're phased out across the world in favor of diesels and electrics. Rhodesia wants some diesels, but the United Nations said no. What did they do? They put on Drake Bell's I Found a Way and illegally imported locomotives from an undisclosed source. The Smithsonian Institution pulled great-grandpa out of retirement to celebrate his 150th birthday, thus making John Bull the oldest operating steam locomotive and self-propelled vehicle in the world at the time.
Honestly, that is so cool for just, like, historical reasons, right? I know that there's some trains that they do as, like, a show-off where, like, nobody rides it, but people will, like, stand outside and they'll take pictures of it going by. They do, like, is that what they were talking about earlier? Like, not commemorative trains. There's a word for it. They're like pretty trains. They're, like, beautiful trains that just drive through the yard or whatever, and then everybody takes a picture. Yeah, like rail fanning.
Ding dong, it's the future, and they have floating trains in
Ceremonial.
England. The Birmingham maglev uses repelling magnets to make the train hover. Remember Reverend Wilbur Audrey? Well,
No,
his books
yes.
just got made into a TV
I do remember him, actually. I didn't for a second because he was a lot older. It's weird to think that people live through history.
show that may or may not become a children's show empire, and one of the reasons you're watching this video.
Aww.
The US and Soviet Union are still paranoid of each other, so they built some mildly inconspicuous rail cars and trains where nuclear missiles could be launched from.
That's how they do that? I didn't know they had a surprise nuke in a train.
Just in case. In Canada, the government slashes the ever-living hell out of Via Rail's budget year after year, forcing them to cut half their services. India just started up the Lifeline Express, a traveling hospital train where people in areas lacking medical services can get surgeries, medications, screenings, vaccines, and more.
That's kind of crazy. I don't even go to the doctor now. I don't even think a moving doctor would make me go.
Japan is expanding their passenger network with their economic bubble, and then they privatize. American railroads are merging like crazy.
That's what I was saying earlier. Oh, graffiti. I know there is actually a lot of graffiti. Sometimes when my dad walks around the yard at night, he'll send me pictures of like a bunch of like cool graffiti on the train.
The New York City subway is covered in graffiti. Germany and its railways were unified. Yay! The Soviet Union broke up and the former republics established their own nationalized rail networks. High-speed rail is growing in Europe, and Britain decides to privatize their railways and make the passenger network really confusing.
Oh.
Intermodal container trains are really popping off now, allowing for a more streamlined transfer of freight across the world. I hope you weren't planning on a Nicaraguan train trip because the president just shut most of them down.
You can do
I want
that.
to go from England to France, but my train won't flow. Oh, hell yeah. Now, if I had a nickel for every underwater rail tunnel that was opened in 1994...
That has got to be expensive, right? An underwater rail tunnel? How do you do that? Like, would you have to, like, displace the water? How do you build a tunnel underwater? I'm just thinking Minecraft. Maybe they employed Aquaman? You just dig? Very carefully.
I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. China builds one of the world's last revenue-earning steam locomotives, and then the government put their foot down and started investing billions upon billions of dollars to bring the country's railways into the high-speed age.
Oh,
hey guys,
they were
check out my new
jealous.
bullet train. It goes 150 miles per hour, said Amtrak, unveiling America's first proper high-speed train set.
Cool.
Now, Europe and Asia, don't laugh.
They don't think he's fast enough? We need to encourage him, okay? He's only gonna get faster through love and dedication of his fans.
It sure is nice riding on Swiss Federal Railways in the year 2005. Hi, Squidward. A short circuit shut down the entire Swiss railway network for nearly 4 hours, but they
Damn.
recovered by the next day. Ever wanted to share videos of the trains you've seen? With YouTube, now you can.
Oh, here
China
we go!
Railways QJ number 7081 pulls the world's last regularly scheduled steam-powered passenger train.
Dude, I just see that train coming forward, and all I thought in my head was lots and lots of trains.
7081 would later be acquired by the Iowa Interstate Railroad in America.
They should have made a train anime like the horse racing one. Honestly, that's probably a money printer. I'm not even kidding. I think Train Musume would actually print.
There goes France setting a new speed record for trains at 357 miles per hour. And then the British
Whoa.
forgot what century it was and built a new steam locomotive for fun. Russia went north
Sidequest.
to the northern north to build the northernmost railway in the world to get some natural gas. In the north. Let's see how Japan's doing.
I love this song!
Wow, they really like trains. Also, they have the fastest train in the world now. How fast?
Is it the Hayabusa?
At least
No,
10
no,
miles
no.
an hour. Step aside, Trans-Siberian Railway. The Yuwu to Madrid railway line just became the longest in the world by completing its first successful round trip, clocking in at 16,156 miles.
Whoa!
Big Boy makes a comeback.
That's like a steel ball run!
No, the other Big Boy. Union Pacific restored number 4014 to operate an excursion service, making it the largest and most powerful operating steam locomotive in the world. Light rail and other new passenger train systems are on the rise across the world because people realized, hey, these train things are pretty cool.
Yeah!
And also, just one more lane, bro, doesn't always help.
I hate driving! I really do! I am the world's most angry driver. And I say it in my head every time. But I don't ever say it out loud because I live in Florida and someone's gonna blow my brains out if I go out and talk to them.
The COVID-19 pandemic locked down the world and caused ridership on passenger trains to plummet. Services were drastically reduced or temporarily cut with a gradual return in the next couple years. Fed up with their passenger trains sucking and changing owners every few years,
Dude, why don't they, like, fix stuff while that happened? Like, why didn't they, like, take the time to, like, make the trains, like, OP in the downtime?
the UK decides to renationalize and revert their railways back to British railways, except more great. China continues expanding their railway network at the speed of sound, and then
I hate that everything always comes back to it costs money. Like, I don't care, fix it!
they finally retire steam locomotives after nearly 150 years.
Aw, bye-bye, Steve!
Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern merged to create Canadian Pacific Kansas City.
Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier! I thought there was a merge.
To celebrate, CEO Keith Creel sent CP-2816 on a round trip across Canada, the US, and Mexico to enormous fanfare.
See? That's what I meant! Remember earlier I was talking about how they just have like a fan meetup, like an off-kai with the with the trains? Yeah, everybody just stands around and takes pictures and waves and stuff.
It was the first steam locomotive to travel across the 3 countries. Technology is improving, but the globe is heating up. What do we do? Asked the world. I don't know, but here's some hydrogen and battery power trains that might help. Want to become a train driver? Too late, buddy. A computer might be doing that for you.
Oh, I heard about this from my dad. Basically there was like bigger crews on the trains. Like my dad, he's an engineer, so that means he drives a train. And the conductor is like the person who goes in the back and he like counts everything and like does like the grunt work basically. It's like Zerg Rush. And he said that they were gonna make it just to where there was just the driver and no little guy. And there used to be more little guys too, but now it's just like a 2-person crew. Which is actually kind of scary if you think about it, because what if somebody tries to like rob the train? What are you supposed to do? It's just you then? Like you just gotta start like, I don't know, 1v1ing?
And then Thomas the Tank Engine takes over the world.
Oh!
Hey everyone, thank you so
That was a
much
good
for
video.
watching to the end. This was definitely one of my more ambitious projects, and I really do appreciate your patience in
That
waiting
was
for me to finish
awesome.
it. Make sure you check out Bill Wirtz's History of Japan and Entire History of the World, I guess, videos if you haven't
I feel like this is a good inspired by. Like, he was inspired by the videos and, like, the structure, but then he still made it his own. That was really good.
already, because those are what inspired me to make this. I'd also like to take this time to thank my channel members. Special thanks to Mooter, who also composed the little jingles you heard throughout the video, so thank you so much for that. And you should go subscribe to him because he makes a lot of good gaming content, and we have a lot of fun doing Let's Plays together. Anyway, Tommy Rosini, Grand Canyon Studios, Amtrak Fan 19, Gojira's Trains, Aaron Forestry YT, Michigan Central Rail Fan, Jacko Beans, Puncake, Jackboy317, and Trains Railfan Gaming 1066 for subscribing to the Conductor tier.
See, there is a difference, right? Like, conductor is the guy who walks around, and the guy who drives the train is the engineer. Or did I make that up? I'm pretty sure. My dad's gonna be so mad at me.
Your extra support always does mean a lot. Finally, I'd like to take this time to thank you all once again for 100,000 subscribers because I'm kind of considering this my 100K special, I guess. Ever since I started watching YouTube some like 16 years ago now, I always wanted to have a channel of my own, and seeing where I've gotten now after 11 years, it still surprises me. Being able to share my interests with all of you has led me to some everlasting friendships, and your support has allowed me to travel the country and help me get by in just day-to-day life, and that's something I'm going to be forever grateful for. Something I've tried doing in more recent times is taking more breaks, and that's allowing me more time to recover mentally, because while making videos is fun, it can also be really just mentally draining and tiring. But in the end, you should make what you want to make and make it how you want to.
I just had an idea. Wait.
You don't have to conform to what everyone says, or just because one person doesn't like how you edited a video, doesn't mean you have to scrap everything and do exactly what they say. It should be fun, it should be how you want to make it, the video should represent who you are as a person and what you can do with your skill set. But don't forget to take constructive criticism into account. Just make sure you have fun with it and that you're happy with the finished product. Well, I think that's about all I got to say today, so thank you so much again for watching and for 100,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in another video.
That was fun. Run, Barry, run! Thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, check out the original, and if you would like to use code Barry, check out for 10% off your game subs order. Please do so and come by the Twitch stream to actually forward BerryCrepe. I hope you have a great evening. Goodbye, YouTube! Goodbye, goodbye!